Hey guys, Vega here. Welcome to episode 19 of Shingakkou. Progress from now on will be pretty slow, like even though I know before was also really slow, but it's going to be even slower because I wasn't able to finish before school started. Now school started. So this might take a year, guys, to finish. Even just one route. I have no clue how long it's going to take. But let's see how far we get. I don't remember what happened last time, but this sentence like Leonid is looking at his watch.
時間がない。話は明日聞くことにしよう。
There's no time. Let's talk tomorrow.
わかりました。
Okay. I don't remember what happened. I think Michael was doubting Leonid or something, and he was thinking, oh, that was too such an honest reply or something. That if Leonid was acting, then he is quite a great actor. Even though I am not Gabby, but wait. But I think Leonid can go onto Shakespeare's stage and can go to the, I can't read this, but it's probably some like center for like performances or something, and also he can sing. So Leonid can perform and Leonid can sing. He could be an actor. Oh, he should be an idol according to this logic.
Leonid, なんだって?
What did Leonid say?
今日は用事でいないから来なくていいそうだ。
He's got something, so I don't need to go today.
そういえば。
Michael forgot to call Mr. Moore. So now he's going to go.
ラザラス神父、いらっしゃいますか?
So he's at Father Lazarus' room asking for, going to ask for like the phone number.
はい。と、ミスター・モランの。
Yeah. So Father Lazarus is going to give him Mr. Moore's phone number. And Michael's looking at the pictures on the wall.
ラザラス神父、いつ頃の卒業生の写真ですか?
Father Lazarus, when was this graduation photo from?
これは30年ほど前かな。君のお父さんのダニエルより少し上の代です。
This is from approximately 30 years ago. It's from before your father was a student here.
こちらの彼は今は司教になっている。こちらの彼は
悪い子。本当に?
Introducing them and saying they're all good kids, and Michael's like, oh, are you sure they were all good kids? And he's like, yeah.
誰でも
その理屈で言えば悪い子はいないことになってしまいますね。
私はそう思っています。
This sentence from Lazarus's Father Lazarus's sentence is actually pretty, like, probably has some deeper meaning to it. He says, oh, no matter who, they will all have an aspect of them that is good. Michael, like some aspect. He's repeating himself. And then Michael's like, oh, but if you say it that way, then doesn't that mean that no bad people exist? And Father Lazarus is like, that's what I think. That's so deep. Like, it's so true, you know? Like, bad people, like, you have to define what bad is. And really, you can't really define what it is, because good or bad depends on whose perspective you're looking at. Like, you know, it could be bad for you and good for someone else, but you can't say, like, he's a bad person. Like, I completely agree with this statement.
Mm. でも、死は仰せです。良い実のなる悪い木はない。最初から木が悪ければ、良い実にはなりようがないのでは?
But the Lord once said that if a tree can bear fruit, then it is not a bad tree. But if the tree was had a problem to begin with, then isn't it possible that the tree will never bear fruit?
そうかもしれませんね。ですが悪い木でも良い実を実らせるために手入れをすることができる。肥料をやり、水を与えることができる。
That might be true, but even if it's a bad tree, in order for it to bear fruit, we can do something for it. We can give it fertilizer and give it plenty of water.
その手入れのための場が学校であり、礼拝堂であり、我々であり、友人なのです。
The help that it gets are like the help that people get from the school, from the church, from us and from the people around us.
人は誰もが良木になる素質を持っていますよ。
No matter who it is, they all have the ability to become a good piece of wood. Father Lazo does pat Michael's back.
マイケル、最近少し元気が戻ってきたようですね。
Michael, you seem to be looking better these days.
そうですか。
Is that so? Father Lazo is nodding, smiling. Do I look like that from other people's perspectives? In reality, my condition should have been worsening. I couldn't really move forward in the investigation, and even now I'm still thinking of quitting the school.
信頼できる友人ができましたか？
Were you able to find a friend you can trust?
信頼できる友人ならば以前からいます。
If it's a friend I can trust, then I have it from before. I think Michael's probably talking about Cecil.
休暇から戻ってきたばかりの頃の君はすべて。
Okay, that might be important. So other Lazarus noticed that when Michael was just coming back from winter vacation, it was as if he put up a wall with the rest of the world. But now he's become a lot more like softer in emotions. I'm not sure. He's not sure if Michael found a new friend he can trust, or if he found an old friend that he could trust again. Oh, that sentence was applicable to any route. Lovely.
主はこうおっしゃった。信じないものではなく、信じるものになりなさい。
God once told us that we need to become believers and not unbelievers. I don't really know the Bible. I'm gonna guess that's what it means.
マイケル、神は君と共にありますよ。
Michael, God has always been with you. I agree. To become a believer and not an unbeliever. Disbeliever? Unbeliever? Disbeliever? Which word is it?
信じないものではなく、信じるものになりなさい。か。
To become a believer and not a disbeliever, huh? I was repeating Father Lazarus' words over and over. Why is it? Up till today, I've heard these words enough times. It's very common language, and it's not something that I should be caring about. But Father Lazarus' voice keeps coming back to me. To become one that believes and not one who doubts. Ever since that happened, I became a disbeliever. Whether it's friends, things around me, and even God, I don't believe in any of them. What's wrong with that? What is it worth believing in? Even God has abandoned me. So, who am I supposed to trust? In the place where I thought was sacred, those who worship the devil gather. And along with students who are not truly faithful. Even father could have been a worshipper of the devil.
いや、違う。本当は分かっている。
No, I actually, no, I understand. I've stopped believing because my heart changed, and it's not actually because anything around me has changed. I simply saw something that I didn't see before, and rubbed away things that were always in my eyes in the past. The secret society has always existed. My classmates have always existed, and father is still the same father from when I was born. And since Gabby said, I know that the father I knew was a believer of God, but that father killed everyone. What should I believe? People will lie, people will fool others, and people will be unable to understand others. It is very normal to not know anything about the truth. And I am the same. It's so hard to want to believe, to want to know the truth, to be able to find the truth. Right now it's more important for me to find the truth. Sunday Mass is about to start. Need to go find the chalk mark.
It
shouldn't be not there. He couldn't find the mark, I think.
どういうことだ。ああ、マイケル、ダメだって。怪我するよ。
Michael punched the wall and Gabby's like, no, don't do that. You'll get hurt.
そこまで強く殴ってない。
I didn't use that much effort.
どうだか。ほら、赤くなってるじゃん。壁と喧嘩しても損するだけだよ。
Let me see. No, it's already red. Even if you have a fight with the wall, you won't get anything out of it. Gabby held my hand and slightly touched over the part that hit the wall. I finally felt the pain. Gabby's right. I won't gain anything from fighting it out with the wall.
それ、この間も言われたっけ?
You said something like this before.
そうだよ。マイケルも意外と学習能力ないよね。
That's right. Michael, surprisingly, you don't have any learning ability. That might be true.
だけどさ、時々体の中にどす黒いものが溜まって気持ち悪くてたまらなくなるんだ。何かにぶつけないと自分が破裂しそうな気がする。
That's true, but sometimes there will be some dark matter coming from within me, and it's so painful that I can't bear it. And if I don't expel it out, I feel like something inside me will just break.
マイケル、長火、どう思う？生体配慮の列の中にも、体質の列の中にも。白木をつけた学生はいなかった。
Gabby, what do you think about it? During during all those events, he couldn't see any like student who had a chalk mark.
ジュニアの学生はちゃんと見ていたつもりだ。でもシニアの学生には見落としがあったのかもしれない。アスタルトはシニアの学生なのか。
I've closely studied kept an eye on the lower grade students, but the upper grade students, I might have missed some of them. Is Astaroth an upper grade student?
でも声の様子からも身長からも年下にしか思えなかったって言ってたじゃん。
But from his voice, he sounds like a lower grade student. Voices can be so deceiving. Especially. No, I'm not gonna say it. But it can be so deceiving.
僕らの学年にもその上の学年にもそんなに小柄な学生はいないし。
During our year or the years above us, there's no student as small as him. I nodded. Gabby leaned on the wall and started biting his nails.
白木に気づいて落としたのか。
Did he notice the chalk mark and then rubbed it off?
ありえないとは言わないけど、白木の汚れって意外と跡が残るよ。
That might be true, but chalk mark is usually very difficult to get off.
そうだな。
That's true. The weather outside is not so good these days.
参ったな。午後の礼拝には包囲は使わないし、来週まで跡が残ってればいいけど。
That's so problematic. The masses in the afternoon don't need those robes. If that mark can last until next week, then that would be best.
ねえマイケル、もしかしたらスタロトってさ、包囲を着ていなかったんじゃない？
Yeah, Michael, could Astaroth might have not worn those robes?
つまりさ、包囲を着ていない人間がいるかもしれないじゃん。病気でミサを欠席した学生がいるかもしれないし、それに。
That's right. It might be someone who wasn't wearing it, or it might have been someone who was sick or absent.
それに、そもそも包囲を着ない学生がいる。
And there are students who don't need to wear those. So there's a lot of students who don't need to wear those robes. First of all, someone like Cecil, who's a part of the I'm forgetting the word again. Oh, I recalled it last time too, right after the video. What was it? The choir? Yeah, the choir. And they have special uniform, and thus they don't need to wear. I don't remember what those robes are called, but those black robes during mass. Also, and then the two students who are helping out during the mass. Those are selected from the lower grade students. Gabby and I looked at each other and then smiled.
休んだ学生は調べればすぐにわかる。
If you go look at the students who were absent, then you'll know.
聖歌隊のメンバーはセシルに聞けばわかるな。自社を務めているのは2年生のチャールズ・ハーパーとアベル・ステイプルトンだ。
If you're talking about the choir, then you can just ask Cecil. But the two students who were helping out with the mass, or how do you pronounce this guy's name? Charles something and Abel Stapleton.
制御室に入ることさえできれば確認できるかもしれない。
If we can go into the equipment room, then we might be able to find out. I need to steal the keys to the equipment room. That makes it a bit difficult. But luckily, we didn't need the key to figure this out. As I was going towards Mr. Macaulay's room, there were two students who were discussing.
ひどいね。誰のいたずらだろう。
This is awful. Whose prank is this? So this is Abel Stapleton, and then he is holding on to his robes. And then Michael and Gabby started hiding.
とにかく洗濯室に行こうよ。洗わないと。
Let's go to the laundry room first. We have to get it off.
僕見つけた時は驚いちゃった。これ白木の汚れだよね。制御室には白木なんてないのにね。
I was quite shocked when I found it. This is a mark from a white chalk, isn't it? But we don't have something like that in the equipment room.
アベルだったんだ。
So it was Abel. I nodded. It's hard to believe that such a serious student, and a student who was always shaking when the principal scolded him, that was Astaroth?
どうする？話しかける？
What should he do? Should we go ask him?
ああ、確かめる。
Yeah, we need to go confirm. It could be possible that someone else used Abel's robes, and I walked out from the corner and called out to Abel.
アベル。
When Abel turned around, his eyes looked very sharp. But immediately, Abel used the unknowing expression to look at me, and tilted his head in question.
僕に何かご用でしょうか？
Do you need me for something?
4年の監督生だ。きっとお茶会の誘いだよ。
It's a fourth grade prefect. He must be inviting you to tea.
少し時間をもらえるか？君にちょっと聞きたいことがあるんだ。
Can I use up a bit of your time? There's something I want to ask you.
はい。
Oh, so this is just descriptions of Abel's beauty. It's like, oh, he's got like beautiful white skin, flushed cheeks, big eyes, sapphire, the sapphire, pupil, sorry, not pupils, irises. So Astros is this good student? Some kind of discomfort arose from inside me. But wasn't Astros also super proud of his appearance? That's true.
僕は君の正体を知っているよ、アベル。アスタロトなんだろ？
I know your identity, Abel. You're Astaroth, right? The moment I asked that question, all the expression on Abel's face vanished. All the discomfort he was showing, or the shyness from when he was speaking with his friend and his smile. It was as if they were all a mirage. But this cold expression shockingly suits him. It's as if this expressionless him is the real him. What are you talking about?
アスタロトって悪魔ですよね。恐ろしいな。なんで僕をそんな怖いものに例えるんですか？
Now you guys can probably hear the similarity. But yeah, this is definitely Astaroth. Astaroth is a devil. That's so scary. Why are you comparing me with something that's scary?
とぼけるつもりか？
Are you going to pretend you don't know?
とぼけるって何のことですか？僕ちっともわかりません。
So I was saying this while like shrugging his shoulders in a very dramatic motion. What do you mean by pretending I don't know? I don't understand at all. Alright, that's for sure. He's Astaroth. But he just doesn't want to admit it. Abo puts his hands behind him and uses an upward, like, looking, like, you know, glancing up with your eyeballs, like, up in a rude manner to look at Michael.
でも嬉しいな。アスタロトって綺麗な悪魔なんですよね。
But I'm very happy. Astaroth is a very beautiful devil, isn't he?
ミカエルみたいなあなたにそう呼ばれるなんて本当に嬉しいな。
To be called something like that by you who is like Michael, like the angel Michael, Mikal. I'm very happy. Like, I really like this kid. That's such a smart reply. Like, he technically didn't admit anything. And he is just really getting Michael angry. That's what he wants.
でもどうしてあなたはそんなことを言い出したんですか？僕ら今まで一度もおしゃべりしたことなんかなかったのに。
But why would you say something like that? Well, until now, we've never even spoke once.
一つ君に聞きたいことがあったから。
Because there is a question I want to ask you. Oh, come on, Michael. Stop being serious. Actually, I want to ask more than one question. But looking at the way Abo is acting, I don't think he'll reply properly.
聞きたいことって何？
What is it that you want to know? Even if I ask him, it'll probably be for nothing. But right now, the only clue I have is the boy in front of me.
僕は人殺しを探しているんだ。そんなことをしそうなやつに心当たりはないか？
I'm looking for a murderer. A person who will do something like that. Do you know who it might be?
人殺し？怖いことをおっしゃるんですね。知りませんよ、そんなの。
A murderer? That's such a scary phrase. Someone like that, I have no idea who that might be.
でも、そうだ。
But that's right.
もしそういう人を見つけたら、僕にも紹介してくださいね。
But if you find someone like that, please introduce him to me. I know where this kid is coming from. Like, oh. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys now, because you guys know he's Astaroth, and I'm probably not gonna show you guys that part of the fan disc. But in the very final, like, chapter in the fan disc, you can unlock Abo's backstory, and he was treated really terribly as a kid. Like, he had massive trauma from his parents, who were always like sexually abusing him, basically since he was very, very small. And like, he had to always put up like a false facade because he was born in a very rich and like I guess, a family with high social standing. So he always needed to look like he was very polite, very well educated, very, very happy. And so he was like very distorted at heart, and he always wanted his parents dead. So here is why he's just saying, if you find someone like that, someone who's a murderer, please introduce him to me. Abel tilts his head and says that with a smile that looks as if he will do no harm to anyone. Like, Abel has used this smile to fool many people to get what he wants. I think, yeah. Once was to get away from his parents. Twice. The second time I think he was actually pretty sincere about it, but like, still something bad happened. The person who I think he was sincerely happy to be with turned out to be someone who, like a criminal who would, I think, not sure if he raped children or if he just murdered children or if he did both, but it was someone who was like a big criminal who might have been about to do something to Abel. And I guess the third is Lucifer. So those are the type of people Abel has been with. Oh, and the first, he was a priest who also wanted to get his hands on Abel, and Abel simply felt that it was better than his parents be sexually abusing him. So he basically chose another type of abuse. Like, this poor child. Also, I love his voice. I love his voice actor. I haven't been exposed to much of Kaji's works, but I think like Shingakkou is most of where I was exposed to him. But like, just this kid, like I love the sentences. I love that playful like evilness. Like, oh.
なぜ?
Why?
決まってるじゃないですか。
Like this type of voice, I love it. Do you even need to ask?
僕に殺したい人ができたら、その人に頼むからさ。
If I have someone I want to murder, then I can just go ask him. Oh, I knew he was gonna say that. This expression. Now you can really see, you really see that he's Astaroth.
.誰を殺してもらおうかな。例えば、死因のくせに生意気であちこちにしゃしゃり出てくるようなやつかな。
Who should I ask him to kill? Maybe it's the new person, but who is super arrogant and always wants to how do you say that in English? Like, someone who always wants to, like the heroic person who always wants to like be on the front lines and like basically showing off and like raising trouble. So namely Michael.
Mm. じゃあ失礼します。
Well, then I will take my leave. I lost my speech when I saw him running away. He is like a poisonous flower. A boy like that, I have never seen one like that before. He is very strange. It's so different from the feeling he normally gives people. And I feel like it's probably best if I don't, that if I stay away from him.
まあいい。とにかく次の手を考えないと。
Well, that's fine. Let's think about the next step from now. When I was thinking of that, someone waved his hand towards me.
ああ、マイケル。そこにいましたか。ちょうどよかった。
Oh, Michael, you were here. That's great.
ラザラ
君に面会の方。
Oh, so someone's here and wants to see Michael.
エイハブおじさん
Oh, finally, Uncle Guy is here.
そ
面会室
He was waiting
Hey,
for
how about
Michael.
you,
And he's got something that he looked like he had to say.
急に
い
いやちょうど近くに来る用もあったしね。
もし
He was asking Michael if he saw the newspaper.
すべては噂なんだ。推測の域を出ていない。何しろひど
He's saying that it was all a lie.
犯人が残したものも何も見つかっていないんだ。
Sorry. Not a lie. He's saying that it was all stuff that didn't have any evidence. The fire was too big. All the wounds were very severe. And also the murder didn't leave any evidence. And couldn't find any suspicious people.
あの日はクリスマスで人通りも多かったからね。逆に言えばおかしな人物が紛れ込んでいても誰も気づかなかったかもしれない。
That was on a Christmas Eve. There was a lot of people coming back and forth. So even if some strange person joined them, maybe no one noticed.
でも証拠もないのに父さんが殺したんじゃないかって話が出てきているんでしょう。
However,
どうしてですか
However, even though there was no evidence, why would some people say that father was the murderer?
もちろん
すべては状況証拠なんだよ。一つはクリスマスミサの時ダニエルは随分様子がおかしかったのだそうだ。
So everything is from like everything is deduced and doesn't really have evidence. But one reason that might have be related to this is that in the time before Christmas, Daniel was acting very strange.
終始何かに怯えたようにそわそわしてまるで落ち着きをなくしていたらしい。顔色も随分悪くてね。
He seemed to be very scared of something and could never calm down. His facial expression was always really awful.
異例のことだが今にも倒れそうなありさまだったことから教区の皆がクリスマスミサを早めに切り上げるようにと勧めたらしい。
No matter how you look at it, it was as if he was about to collapse at any moment. And that's why the people at the church suggested that he should stop the mass early.
そうだったんですか。でもそれでどうして父さんが殺したことになるんですか。
Is that so? But can you say that father was a murderer just from this?
これ以上は辛い話になる。
聞かせ
どうやらまずミニーが刺されたようなんだ。カレンは刺されたミニーを抱いて逃げようとして背中から刺された。
The one that was first stabbed is apparently Minnie. Her mother was stabbed when she was holding onto Minnie and trying to escape, and was stabbed at the back.
最後に死んだのがダニエルではないのかと警察は言っている。そしてダニエルの手元近くにナイフが見つかった。
According to the police, the last one who died was Daniel, and beside Daniel was a knife.
ナイフが父さんの近くで見つかったことくらい最初から分かっていたじゃないですか。なぜ今さら
The fact that the knife was beside father was known at the start, right? Why do we discuss it now?
だから全ては推論なんだよマイケル。嫌な話になってしまうがその
That's why we're saying this is all from deduction, Michael. What I'm about to say might make you feel very awful.
ミニーは正面から胸、無論あれだが
Minnie was stabbed from the front, and a small child like that usually wouldn't a small child like that, it would usually be afraid of like a stranger, and that's why that she was probably trusting the person who stabbed her.
そう、すべては推論なんだ。
That's right, but everything is still just from deduction.
ダニエルの様子がおかしかったことも、殺された順番も、ミニーが抵抗しなかったことも、本当に関係があるのかどうかは誰にもわからない。
The reason why Daniel was acting strange, the order of the stabbings, and why Minnie wasn't struggling, those might not have anything to do with the truth. No one knows. The two of them start looking up at the sky. And they feel a bit better when they look at the sky. And that's probably why Father Ahab asked to discuss this outside.
私は信じてはいない。ダニエルはそんなことをする人間ではなかったよ。ダニエルは、彼は、そんな人間じゃない。
I don't believe it. Daniel's not someone who would do something like this. It's as if Uncle Ahab is talking to himself. I want to become a believer. I want to believe in Father. Having someone beside me who feels the same seems to be a small comfort.
そうだ。ねえおじさん、実はこの間までおじさん、
フィリ
ええ、父さんのことを知っていたんですが、ご存知ないですか？
Michael's telling him that he was talking to Philip Moore and is asking Father Ahab if Father Ahab knows him.
フィリップ
Father Ahab's expression suddenly changed. You probably noticed it.
ああ、フィリップ・モラン、あのキザな豚の花フィリップ。
Ah, Philip Moore. That the what do you call that? That pretentious, pig-nosed Philip.
豚の花。
Pig-nosed? I opened my mouth in shock.
ああ、そういえば鼻が上を向いてたっけ？
Mr. Moore's image suddenly flashed before Michael's eyes, and oh, that's right. His nose was pointing upwards. Uncle Ahab suddenly seems to notice what he just said and just shook his head.
ああ、いや、今のはほんの少し口が滑っただけだよ。ちょっと学生時代に気持ちが返ってしまってね。
No, I just that just slipped my mouth. I felt like I suddenly went back to school.
ミスター・モランは嫌われていた。
Did you dislike Mr. Moore? Uncle Ahab drew a cross and nodded his head solemnly.
まあ、そんなこともあったね。我々もあの頃は未熟だった。今ならばお互いもう少し有意義な会話ができるのかもしれないよ。
That seemed to have been the case in the past, maybe. But we were both too young back then. If it's now, I think everyone will be able to talk in peace.
それで、ミスター・モランは今何をしているんだい？ 彼とは卒業以来会ってなくてね。
So, what did Mr. Morin, what is Mr. Morin currently doing? I haven't spoken to him after graduation.
ルポライターだったかな。
相変わらず
まあ
Michael's like, oh, he's a reporter and stuff. I was like, oh, is he still so pretentious? No. So fashionable.
それでそのミスター・モランが何？
ミスター・モランに聞いたんです。
あ
あ。
あの秘密結社に父が参加していたのをご存知ですか？
I talked to Mr. Morin about the secret society that you mentioned before. Did you know that father was once a part of the secret society?
え？
I guess not.
マイケルいけないよ。ミスター・モランの言葉を信じてダニエルを疑うなんて。
Michael, you mustn't. Don't believe Mr. Morin. And don't doubt Daniel.
僕もあの人のことはあまり好きじゃないです。でもどうやら確かなことのようなんです。ミスター・モランは父に直接聞いたと言っています。
I don't really like that person, but this seems to be the truth. Mr. Morin said that he asked my father straight.
エイハボおじさんはどう？
私
少しだけ。
Michael, did you know that your father was once very pained over the loss of his parents? I've heard about it a bit before, but not in detail. I don't have grandparents. Both of my parents lost their parents at an early age. Oh, I guess that would be appropriate, I guess, for that time. Because I guess if this is after World War II, then his grandparents might have fought in World War I. That's probably why he doesn't have them.
子供の頃に聞こうとしたことはあったんですけど、なんとなく父さんが話すのを嫌がっているような気がして、それで。
I asked them about it when I was small, but I felt like father didn't really like this conversation topic.
そうか。ダニエルはひどく苦労をしていてね。孤児院で育って貧民院にもいたようだし、彼が牧師への道を志した最初のきっかけは貧しさからの脱出だったんだ。
I spot a typo, I think, if my Chinese skills are good enough. Daniel was had a very difficult life. He grew up in an orphanage and later lived in the slums. And he chose to become a pastor because he wanted to escape poverty.
出会ったばかりの頃の彼は私に言ったよ。この学校に入ったのはそうでなければ奨学金が出なかったからだとね。
He told me that the reason why he entered the school is because he got a scholarship from it.
じゃあ父さんは本心から牧師になりたかったわけじゃなかった。
So father might not have actually wanted to be a pastor.
少なくとも入学当初はね。
At least before he entered the school, that was true.
もしかしてショックだったかい？
Could it be that you're a bit shocked? I shook my head. It would be a lie to say that I am not slightly shaken. But even if father was a worshipper of Satan, I feel like I have been betrayed by father, who is a worshipper of Satan. But on the other side, another me thinks that it might have been something like this. I just might not have known it before. Maybe even people in my grade some of them might be like this. Some of them might not want to be pastors, and simply for the need to survive, to study, and thus they stayed in this school. Oh, come on, that's so common. Like, who, like, okay, I know there are people who study things because they love them, but there's also a lot of people who study things because they need to survive, they need to feed themselves. That's so common. Like, why would you just realize that? And like not liking something until you went into it and seen how, and being truly affected by it. That's also super common. Like that's super understandable. Like,
学生時代のダニエルは牧師としての仕事ももしかしたら人生も社会も愛していなかったのかもしれない。
When your father was a student, he didn't really have a passion for his work as a pastor. No, more like he didn't have a passion for his life or for society.
普段は案外陽気なところもあったんだが、時々ふと険しい顔をすることがあってね。敵意と言えばいいのかな。そんなものを感じることがあった。
In normal days, he has occasions where he looks happy, but I feel that sometimes he has a very scary expression on his face. Or could it be described as animosity? I think I can understand animosity. Ever since I lost my family, aren't I like that? Oh, yes, Michael, you are very scary after you lost your family. Everything around me makes me angry. No matter who it is, they all have this what do you call it? Naive expression, and makes me hate them. Even if they say something, even if they just say something from the Bible, it makes me so upset that I want to explode. There you go, that expression.
なら父さんは本当に秘密結社にいたのかもしれない。
Then perhaps father was actually a member of the secret society.
そうだね。私も若い頃のダニエルを思い出すと、そういうこともあったのかもしれないと思うよ。
That's true. When I think about the Daniel from back then, I think that might be a possibility. Like, so what? Like, just because he didn't want to be a pastor doesn't mean he was necessarily a part of the secret society. Like, and like, I think all these things that are bugging Michael right now, like this entire conversation, it's just you're thinking too like dark, looking at like too sad of a side to it. You know, like these are just very human aspects of people, and people change. People like some people find their passions very late in life. Daniel could very possibly have been one of them, and like he's always been like a great pastor later. That's evidence that he probably changed somewhere along that line. And so what if he was part of the secret society? Like, it doesn't say anything about what kind of a person he is. Like, as Michael mentioned before, the secret society, when he first went there, just looked like a bunch of people in a club. You know, there were just a bunch of kids fooling around doing all these like rituals that seemed really stupid, killing chickens. Like I understand the touchy thing about like when Lucifer touched Michael, was, groped Michael. That feels a little off. But like all the other stuff, like nothing really, like none of the members did anything really out of line, and did anything that was, really bad to society. None of them really murdered, and like to doubt a person who you once trusted and loved so much like that just from those kind of things. I think that's disappointing in a bit. And I understand that it's a phase that Michael needs to go through, but it still kind of upsets me. Whew, sorry for this feel.
だがねマイケル、だからといって本心から悪魔を崇拝していたとは私は思わないよ。ダニエルは根は優しい青年だった。勤勉で真面目に勉強していた。
But Michael, I think that even if he was a part of the secret society, he wasn't really worshipping Satan. Daniel has always been a soft boy at heart, and he always studied very dutifully.
その後の彼の信仰心はよく知っているだろう。君は間近に見ていたはずだ。
And his faith from then on, that's something you're very familiar with, right? You were always beside him and you saw all of it. Exactly! Father Ahab stares right at me.
はい。
I nodded firmly.
知っています。父さんがどれだけ教区の人に慕われていたか。祭壇で祈りを捧げる父さんの真剣な横顔も覚えています。
I know how everyone always looked up to my father, and my father's serious expression when he was standing at the altar. All of that, I am very clear.
そうだ。僕は知っていたんだ。
That's right, I always knew. And suddenly I understood. And those who are part of the secret society aren't all necessarily those who worship Satan. Half of them are just people who are a little bit awkward and dishonest. Oh, he came to that conclusion relatively quickly. Ooh, I think that's pretty difficult for a person who was actually in the, who is actually facing this. As a bystander, it's very easy for me to deduce. But man, this is why I love Michael sometimes. Like, he comes around, he thinks fast, but he still has faith inside him.
ダニエルは確かに昔陰鬱なところのある青年だった。私を相手に口にはしなかったが、神の与える幸福を信じていなかったんだろ
う。I've always known Daniel to be someone who had a slight depressed side to him. But even though he never told me that, but I think that's because he never believed in the happiness God gave him.
だが彼に出会って変わったんだ。ここを卒業してからのことだ。
But after he met Karen, he changed. That's after he graduated from here.
母さんに会ってから？
After he met my mom?
そう。カレンは魅力的だったよ。当時彼女はカフェのウェイトレスをしていてね。私の教区の信者だった。
Yes, Karen is a very charismatic woman. She was working at the coffee shop at that time and was a member of our church.
実は私もカレンのファンの一人だったんだ。
I was actually a fan of Karen as well.
カレンもまた両親を亡くし苦労して育ったようでね。だけど彼女はダニエルと違い、おおらかで明るく神を信じていた。
Karen also lost her parents and lived in very difficult conditions. But she was very different from Daniel. She was happy, outgoing, honest, and she believed in God.
カレンの明るさがダニエルの心を救った。多分あれはそういうことだったのだろう。
Karen's openness probably saved Daniel's heart.
あれから何年が経ったのかな。
How many years has passed since then? The father I didn't know, and the mother I didn't know. I squinted like Uncle Ahab. Did my father from back then looked at the sky like this and saw the same thing as me? How did mother save father's heart? Ooh, you won't know. You just need to go through Niel's route and you won't know. Oh. There's a lot of description about the seasons that I wasn't reading before. Actually, I don't know if it probably like symbolizes something, and it probably reflects what they are, like his current state of like heart and stuff. But I chose not to read it too much. But right now he's talking about like the seasons and like in the winter, even though the sky doesn't. Even though the scenery isn't very full of color, but it's different from the other seasons in which the flowers we tended to very carefully. The solemn forest, the colorless sky, the layers of clouds, and I can't find a single beam of light. It's a very monochrome world. And the ground passes up cold gusts of air, and even like this, neither of us said that we were the first to say that we should go.
ダニエルは悪魔崇拝者じゃないよ、マイケル。秘密結社にいたとしても、きっと気の迷いだったのだろう。
Daniel was an actual worshipper of Satan, Michael. Even if he was a part of the secret society, that must have just been a moment's mistake.
だが、もしダニエルが悪魔崇拝の秘密結社に入っていたのだとすると、あの新聞記事に信憑性を与えることになってしまうかもしれない。
But if he was actually a member of the secret society, then that newspaper article will have something to come from.
主はこうおっしゃった。信じないものではなく、信じるものになりなさい。
The Lord once said to be someone who believes and not someone who doubts. I need to believe, and it's very difficult right now. But
僕は父さんを信じます。父さんはそんなことしない。
I believe in father. Father won't do something like that. I make a fist. I believe in father. I believe in I think I want to be a person who can believe in father. And because of that, I need to do what I can. This I don't know how many times it was, but this oath is printed on my chest.
僕は探します。
I will find the truth.
そうか。いつの間にこんなに大きくなっていたんだろうね。ついこの間まではあんなにやんちゃで小さかったのに。
When did you grow this big? Even earlier, you were. I feel like just earlier, you were still a small little brat.
さて、そろそろ帰ろうか。私もバスの時間があるし、風邪をひかせちゃ悪いしね。
Right, that's about time to go back. I still have to get on the bus. Can't let you catch a cold?
前ほど病弱じゃないですよ。
I'm not as weak as I was before.
油断は禁物だよ。風邪で死ぬ人だっているんだから。
You can't be too you can't be too what do you call it? Like you can't look down on a cold. It has killed people before. Like COVID. COVID is a cold. It's a flu. Don't look down on it, Michael. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Oh, good episode. Good 1 hour. I still think I have half of Leonid's route to go through, guys. Oh, also, this is just a side note, but I actually recently got my hands on another very, very, very old BL game. I don't think it has an English translation. I'll have to double check. I read a couple of reviews on it. I think it has a very like average plot, but it has pretty good art. I can't remember the name of it, but it's this Middle Eastern game. Also a BLVN. And for like personal interest, I might record it just for fun. But I would do it at the same time as Shingakkou. Like that's also I think a very short game. So yeah, I might do both at the same time. I'm definitely not going to like drop Shingakkou if I start recording that. Just to let you guys know if you see a video on it. Yeah, I might not though. That's just a thought that's currently happening. But yeah, thought I'd let you guys know. Thanks for listening. See you guys next time.